another video. So today we are going to be doing another DIY. We are going to be making game day t-shirts like this. You can do a crop top, a sweatshirt, whatever. I'm actually going to be doing a cropped tank top today. This was my first one I made, and then I'm going to do another. So I'm going to be showing you guys from start to finish how you can do this. So I am using my Cricut maker machine. You can use any type of like vinyl cutter or anything like that. And then I'm going to be using the Cricut Design Space software. I have my laptop pulled up with Cricut Design Space right here, and then I also have this recording so you guys can see what I'm doing on screen. The first thing I did is I opened up Cricut Design Space and I started a new project. So I already found a logo for the shirt that I want. I found an SVG online. So I just searched my logo SVG and I was able to find one. I recommend doing that first before you try and make one. Sometimes you're going to be able to find free ones and sometimes you might have to buy it. Usually when you find a logo and it's just one, I found it for maybe $1 or $2, just something cheap. So usually I don't have to spend a lot for my SVGs. Okay, so the first thing I did is I went ahead and I added my piece to my canvas. So you can see right here on this side, my piece has a lot of different layers, and so we're gonna work around all those different layers. First, I wanna get a measurement of how big that this is gonna be. So I'm gonna grab my shirt. All right, so I have this little tank top that I'm gonna be using. It's just a cropped black tank top, and I'm just gonna put the logo right in the middle. So I'm gonna go ahead and lay this out on my desk. So this top is just a plain black top from Shein. It was cheap, I think it was like $4. I bought these things from Amazon. They're a t-shirt measurement type thing, so you can take them to kind of find the center of the shirt. And so I'm gonna do that, and then I'm just gonna take a little tape measure and I'm going to measure how big I want my logo to be. So I'm thinking I want it to be about 3.5 inches. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna change this part, the height. I'm gonna just bring it down. I'm bringing this one down to about 3.5 inches. So this makes it 3.5 by about 3. I'm making sure that's big enough. So I'm actually gonna go a little bit bigger because I want that to be just a tad bit bigger. So I think I'm gonna go back down to about 3.6 by 3.175 because I think that's best for my project. So now I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in so I can see really well. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna ungroup our SVG, and then we're gonna take these pieces and move them. So you can see there's another group right here. So I'm gonna ungroup that one and this one. I'm gonna zoom back out. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna sort our things by color. So this is how we're gonna do our mats. So I am gonna put all my white items right here. I have my gold right here and my black right here. So now I'm gonna go ahead and group these together. And then I only have one yellow piece and one black piece. So that is all done there. Now you'll see when we go to make it, it's gonna sort by color. So now you can see that it sorted it by color. I'm gonna kind of move these a little bit just to give it a little bit more space for when I am working with it. And then we have our black layer as well, and then our yellow layer. The most important thing when you're doing heat transfer vinyl is to make sure that you are mirroring your images. So for the black and the gold one, they are just a symmetrical plain image, so it doesn't really matter as much, but I'm still gonna do it just for peace of mind. All right, so all of that is mirrored. So now I'm gonna go ahead and get my vinyl ready. You can see here that I need a piece that's about 9 by 4 inches. You can do this one 2 ways. You can use a cutter like this one, or you can just go straight on the mat and then cut it from the mat. So how I'm going to cut this is I'm just gonna go ahead and lay this down. I have this tool from Cricut. It comes with like a weeding cart and then a little blade, and I'm just gonna use that blade. I'm going to make a mark at 4, and then I'm gonna make a mark at 9. So now I'm just cutting my vinyl and making sure that it is correct. So you have the option of going ahead and using 3 mats for this and just putting each piece on a different mat, but I'm actually just gonna use the same mat because we have to unload it each time anyway. So for heat transfer vinyl, you need to make sure that the shiny side is down. All right, I have a little smoothing tool that I just take and smooth it down. And so then I look at my measurements again and make sure we are in the clear and that nothing is going to get cut off. All right, so now I'm turning my Cricut on, getting it ready. For our material, I'm just gonna select everyday iron-on because that's what this is, and it's gonna say make sure mirror is turned on, which it is. And then so now my thing is flashing for me to load it, so I'm gonna go ahead and load my material in there. It's gonna scan, make sure the fine point blade is in there, and then I'm gonna hit go and let it cut. Okay, so that piece is done, so I'm just gonna unload it. Then I'm gonna flip my mat over and pull this off. I'm not gonna weed it yet just to save time. I'm gonna go ahead and load my other material in. So now it moved right on to the next one, and I'm just gonna hit edit right here. And then I can see the exact measurement I'm gonna need. So I'm gonna need a little over 3, and then about 3.5, so I'm gonna probably do 4. And you can decide to cut them all at once or cut them individually like I did. It's really just your preference. Sometimes I'll do one way and not the other. All right, and I'm gonna check and make sure that things are lined up, which they are. Hit done. Now I'm gonna load this one in. I'm just gonna go ahead and hit that flashing Cricut button. All right, so that one was really quick because it was small. So again, I'm just flipping, pulling it, and then setting it to the side. So now we're gonna do the last piece, which is the gold. And so I'm gonna look here, make sure mirror's on, and then I'm gonna go back to edit. And so this one is a little bit smaller than the last one we did. And so I'm just gonna put this on my mat and then go ahead and cut it where it should be. Okay, gold piece and last piece is ready to go. So I'm just gonna place it on here, smooth it down just like the others, and check my measurements, and it looks like we're good. So now I'm just gonna load this last one in. All right, and hit start. So that was our last piece. So now I'm done with my Cricut, so I'm just gonna close it up so you guys can see me a little bit better. And now I'm just going to go ahead and weed my pieces. So I'm just using this tool from Cricut. I think it's just called a weeder. And I'm just going in. I'm gonna start on this side, and then I'm peeling it like so. So that actually weeded beautifully. I was a little nervous for the small text part. So now I'm just going in on these little areas and just getting the small pieces. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and separate these layers. So I'm just gonna cut out this little part right here, and set it away. And then I'm going to separate these two. So now I'm going to weed my next piece, which is the gold. Okay, so now everything is weeded and it is time to assemble. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just go ahead and lay out my shirt, and then I'm going to put on my little piece right here to check where I want it. You can also try it on if you don't have an idea of where you want it. So then I'm gonna take my first layer and I'm just gonna kind of see where exactly I want it. Before we do any heat and press it down, I just wanna go ahead and place them to make sure that they are gonna work. So I have my first layer, and again, no heat. We are just taking our next layer and placing it lightly. Then I need my other white piece. And this doesn't have to be perfect, but you want it to at least look somewhat close to what you're gonna do. Okay, so they all are working, and the reason why you want to do that is just in case for some reason something cut wrong, or if when you separated them something got resized on accident. You just want to make sure before you get started that it's all the right size. Okay, so I've laid down my heat pad, ignore the stain on it, but now I'm just going to put my top on there. And I'm gonna take my easy press and I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on. I have this set at 270. I set it at a lower temperature just because we're pressing it a lot. I've seen people do it at higher temperatures, so you can if you want. I just do it a little bit lower to be safe. All right, so now I'm just gonna warm my shirt a little bit for about 5 seconds. Some people use the folding method where they fold their shirt in half. I'm actually going to do that just because I have not worked with this type of tank top before, and I want to make sure that I'm getting it even. Then I'm just going to press for about 5 seconds. Now you should have a faint line in the middle, and then I'm just going to use my little guide here. Okay, so now it's time to place the first piece. So I'm going in with my first layer. And I'm looking also at a picture on my laptop to the side that you guys can't see, just for reference. After I place this first layer, I like to pick it up and look at it and make sure that it looks straight and looks good, because the heat is going to kind of hold it down there. Because we're doing multiple layers, I use parchment paper on it as well, just as another form of added heat protection. So I'm just going to put this on there. All right, ready and go. Alright, so we're going to take that parchment paper off and slowly peel off that plastic. And if you see any parts where it's coming up, then we're just going to press for another 2 seconds. So I'm just going to give it a 1, 2, and remove. Slowly peel that off. So now I'm grabbing my next layer, and again, you want to be referencing your picture to make sure that you are doing it in the correct order. A little bit. Okay, I'm happy with that placement, so I'm going to do the same thing. Cover it with parchment paper, and then press for about 3 to 5 seconds. All right, same thing. We're just slowly peeling. All right, so we've got that one. So now we're going to do our next layer, which is another white. Parchment paper, and then again, another 3 to 5 seconds. So we're just gonna slowly peel up. So now we only have 2 more layers. So I'm gonna go in with our last big layer. So I'm gonna go ahead and place my parchment paper. last layer. So now this one's just a little text. And I'm just gonna place it where I want it. Okay, so that looks good to me. So now for this last layer, I'm actually gonna press for about 10 seconds. And then we can peel off that last layer. There we have it. All right, so this is what it looks like. Cute little cropped tank top. All right guys, so this is what it looks like on. I think it is so cute. And I also just wanted to show you guys how the t-shirt came out. I think it's really cute as well. So I can wear it oversized or I can tuck it in. All right guys, so that's all for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.